Hello Gundam and Gashapon fans. So we're going to try a new line from Bandai. For me, it's not new in history, just to me, called Gashapon Senshi Forte. And this is, I think, wave pound 11, and maybe it was 6 yen? No, I don't know. Let's see what this pamphlet says. No, yeah, none of that helps me out. But there's a website, Gashapon.jp. It seems awfully generic, but Bandai probably invented Gashapon, maybe. But Gashapon, by the way, are little capsule toys. They're like these. Imagine a gumball machine with a giant hollow ball with a toy inside of it. So we have a frame and some inner workings. And then I should have a red Z-Gok here. This is kind of a weak one. It's not even a figure. Alright, well, anyways, you got those figures and one little accessory set in this wave pound 11, I assume. So let's open it up here. So the torso comes apart. The feel of this, it's like a softer. Maybe it's a PVC. It's not rigid plastic, but it's definitely harder than an eraser. All right, the hatch is printed on nicely. The vents are painted black. That looks cool. Unfortunately, but not these vents up here. Yeah. All right. Well, let's see. The head here has what looks probably to be a separate piece of plastic, but I think it's glued in place. So it's got the mono eye there, and it's not really round, so you can't spin the eye around, but it is offset to one side. I have a feeling I'm gonna have to take some of this stuff off the sprues because it's gonna end up in the figure. So let's try this out. So I think this whole runner here, sorry, get a different angle so you can see what I'm doing. I think this whole runner is probably universal, maybe? Because, I mean, it has two fists, but a Z-Gok wouldn't actually have fists. So, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I do think this has to be clipped off, too, but let's see. Probably don't even need clippers. I mean, if this is meant for children to pull off a gumball machine, you probably just rip these off, but I don't know, I'm just so trained from making model kits to use clippers. Maybe that's like an action base or something. And then yeah, look, we have open hands, but a Z-Gok would never actually have these. But they might come in handy for a future figure if I decide to collect this line of toys. Just leave that alone for now. Yeah, I think it just kind of, so you can bank these together. This tab goes underneath the next one over here, and you can line them up, and then you can have this little weapons rack kind of thing hanging out. All right. So let's see if we can look back at these really simple instructions. So we have the frame and the shoulders, but in this case it's probably not the black one. It's probably, where's this back one here? Oh, maybe this goes into this. Alright, so that goes into that part. And this is the shoulder joint. Let's probably just put it on here first. That's a pretty tight fit. There we go, eventually got it. Yeah, that's really quite tight, but I guess it'll keep its pose for a while, being this tight. Alright, so that pops into the back torso, like that. Then we got these pieces here have to hinge together. So these two are halves of a hinge joint. So I tore that off. We'll just pop it on here, up here. And I'll break off this other part, or I'll clip it off. So that's one joint of some sort. As to where it goes, I don't know yet. So this will tear it off. And we will pop it on this half here. And trim off the extra. And the hands, alright, and then this, so there's this is for the hips and the waist. So I guess I can put this thing together now. Doesn't want to go together. Missing something? Maybe it just takes a little effort. Squeeze it with two hands. Alright, so that did work. So now we have, what do we have on this tree here? We got some like thruster packs. As you can see, this is a very soft rubber. And I like the soft rubber because I know if it falls off like a bookshelf, the figure's not going to break. Oh boy, we got another sprue here with the arms. Alrighty. And I guess this must be the lower hip / torso thing. I don't think there's a front and back to this piece. It looks pretty symmetric, so that probably just goes up in this square area here, and then plugs into the hex hole on the upper torso, and that's pretty tight as well, so I don't think it's going to fall apart too easily, which is good. Yeah, very good. So a lot of friction there, which is good, although there's a ledge here, so it kind of wants to separate if you go too far, you see, but you can rotate it a logical amount, so that's good. Alright, so this is the front of the leg with this little kneecap, so that guy, and look at the bottom of the feet, it's got a little detail there. So we're going to pop this on here. Nice positive click, so I don't think that's going to fall off easily. Here's the other leg. Yeah, you can't hear the click, but I could definitely feel it. Alright, so this arm here, I think the arms are symmetric, so there's no left and right. That one I heard the click. Alright. And so the head. Now Zegok's head isn't actually supposed to move, so even that's a ball joint. I don't think you're supposed to actually turn the head at all. So these backpack things here, these thruster jets. So that's good. That probably helps trap this torso and keep it tight, because it's sandwiching this red piece. So look at this detail actually. Sadly there's no detail on the bottom of this thruster. There should be like a thruster detail. Oh well, it's a little capsule machine toy. You know, what's weird is they don't want to sit next to each other. They're symmetric, but the spacing of the holes isn't very good. Well, really, I'm sure the frame is universal. It's just that the design of these pods is too big. They shouldn't have those diamonds there, and then they would sit next to each other better. So it's kind of weird. I guess you could dip them in hot water and then bend the pegs a little bit. Alright, so the hand here, or the claws, the iron nail claws, so you can spin that nicely. That one's quite open, this one is kind of closed. Alright, and you can flip them if you want to. So yeah, we have some extra parts that probably belong, you know, on more normal looking robots. It's just that the Z-Gok is quite unique. The question is, I was thinking, you know, it would be cool or smarter if these holes are all the same size. For the hands, for this rack, then you could actually just peg in the hands here and not lose them. And so again, this is probably like an elbow piece or something for a normal one. So for me, they're just extra parts for maybe the next figures that we open up. I'll just put these aside for now. Alright, let's check out this figure then. So yeah, the arm will flip all the way around because you saw it on a ball peg. And then that ball peg can shift a little bit up and down before it collides with the redness of in that torso. Although, no, I think the arm is keeping it from... Yeah, the arm itself is not allowing it to shift in and out. No, not really. Okay. And then the legs here. Yeah, you can get a few degrees in and out. Obviously, front and back. That works pretty well. I mean, for something this small, I think it was pretty great, actually. And then again, the torso will get a few degrees of movement. So how tall is this guy? This thing is so small, it's crazy. Let's see. To the top of the head, it's around 43 millimeters, or like 1 3/4 of an inch. So very, very small. I mean, look at my hand, right? And yet you can pose the guy. And there's even a peg hole for the crotch, so you could probably put it on a flying stand. Oh, maybe that's also what this is for. Let me break these hands off or clip them off. So if I put this stand right in the middle holes, then I can pop this on here. Yeah, look at that. That's pretty cool. So you can get let's get a jump pose. Maybe that would make more sense. Opposing arms and legs. And then have them look at this way. That is really cool. So far, I'm really impressed. For something that comes out of a gumball machine, right? It's very cool. It's really small. I like small models. That's why my channel is named that, so I can collect more stuff. Sure, I would love to be able to collect 1/18 scale cars and 1/6 figure Hot Toys figures and stuff, but I can't put them anywhere. So, all right, so that was that guy. Now these next three, they're all from the same wave. And what wave is this? This is wave number 16. I always say pound, I don't know why. It's a number sign as well. Okay, so we have Ariel from Witch from Mercury. Oh, these I think are all Witch from Mercury figures. I forget what this is called. Maybe Darilbalde or something? I forget. Sadly, there's no English on here. Very often Japanese toys don't care whatsoever about other languages. And yet on the back, there is English. Right, so that's really strange, right? You would have English here, but not on the important stuff, like knowing what it is your product is to other people. Very strange. Anyways, well, it looks like there's wait, is that thing? I guess that is this. So it's really just a wave of 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the fifth one is this accessories, you know, weapons for each of these guys in the rack again. The rack has an X in there too. Alright, let's start with this red one. We'll do... I don't even think I have Ariel. No, I don't. I'll use my more flat cutting nippers here. Alright. Did I miss this one? I think I did. Now the stand, this looks actually the same. Alright, no matter what, I got those little clip marks, but this isn't a model kit, it's just a toy. Alright, so we got gray pieces here, really small gray pieces. Now what I'm wondering, since this is really soft, I don't know if this stuff would sand well. You know, if you tried to sand this, it might cause it to rip up. So you definitely want to have some nice side cutters, you know, that cut flush. That was a pretty flush cut. So I don't need to sand it. Now, did I miss? Are there instructions for each robot? No, there are not. But it's the same system, really. Okay. Well, let's try to figure it out. So we know this needs the shoulder pieces. So pop that on. As difficult as it might be. Actually, this is not as tight as that first figures, but still pretty tight. And then there's one more piece I gotta trim off. That looks like the front. So we sandwich the front piece on. I guess this, no, is this the back? Possibly. What's the shame is there's no rear view on this robot, so I'm not really sure what the back is supposed to look like. Unless Gundam and Neum reviewed these, I don't know. Maybe it's that way. It's just these look like thrusters, so I imagine they're pointing downwards. Now this cut was not very good. Let's see. Let's see if a diamond file, what it'll do to this soft plastic. Not a diamond file, one of these nano glass files. Definitely took a little material off. I can see the glass taking stuff off. I guess that's okay. Alright. So I know this is the head. And look at this. This thing is cool. It has a translucent, you know, clear, green and yellow, and like a silver backing. So that's super cool. And that's a pretty positive fit. You can see a little side to side rotation so far. So that's nice. So if this is the crotch piece, and here we go. I put it at an angle. what's the front? Alright, the split part is going to the front. So, alright, so that's... Now, let's see here. These are mirrored, so there's a shape in there, but I guess maybe it doesn't matter because they're mirrors of each other. So that's good. Oh, this does say right though, and the other does say left. So I have to constantly look at this thing because I don't know what's the leg and what's the arm and what. This is the shoulder, I think. So this is the right shoulder. Alright, that's a positive snap. So this must be the forearm. Ah, this is where those little pieces come in. Alright, so we had the, hold on here, snip this off. So this becomes the elbow joint. So that's going to pop up in here. Probably want to do this make the arm first, but I've never done this before. Yeah, you know what, I am going to have to, there's not enough access. See, there's a little ledge on the shaft, so you gotta get clearance. Alright, so now I have this facing the outside instead of the visible seam. So that's good. Where's the left? The other half of this joint. Man, this is they're such small parts. So be prepared. But if you take your time, it shouldn't be too bad. Just kind of wiggle that in, get into that. Oh, I put it in backwards. Let's try it that way. No, I did have it right. What am I doing? I mean, it'll work either way. I'm just trying to make it look nice. Alright, so then this is... Boy, is this the forearm? I don't know. Because there's no hole for the wrist. Alright, this is the forearm. Meant to hold a hand. Okay. Is there a label left or right? No, I think it doesn't matter. Man, that is hard to get in there. Almost. Alright, so actually, maybe it didn't matter which way I put that joint because this one covers most of it up anyways. And then, for now, just pop in this open hand. Oh, no, if this is the left arm, maybe this open hand. And actually, it might make sense to remove this extra bit of plastic because it might bottom out. So there's no flange on this. It's just friction, and that's fine. It makes life easy getting it in and out. All right, this side here, I'm gonna put on a hand with the grippy, but I don't really like looking at that. So let's see if this thing works. Yeah, I don't know if the nail file helped out a lot. First, I gotta get the elbow joint in. No, I did. Forearm. One thing is this side is nicer looking than this side, so I'm gonna put this on the inside of the body, which I think is this way. Wow, it's really kind of hard to get these pegs in, but I guess it's never going to fall apart, or it won't be easy to fall apart getting these things off. Alright. There's the hand. Alright, well, there's one more thing that goes on here. It's these red things. This is labeled R as well, so this is R as well. Now I think it goes like that. Alright. Now I can pop that on. Well, you know what, let's just wait. So this one goes in this side here, like this. Good detail. And this again it's soft, you know. I don't have to worry about it breaking. Even the back has a little detail on it, so that's really neat. I suppose you could glue that together, but it's a pretty decent friction fit. I mean, the stuff isn't really heavy, so... Ooh, unfortunately, look at this weapon. It's really warped. I guess you can dip it in hot water and maybe it'll straighten itself out. For now, let's continue on. I think this goes on its head, and you can see there's actually molded details on the underside. It's very soft again, very neat. Alright, that's a weird looking robot. Reminds me of like one of those like rhinoceros beetles or something. Alright, so this is the leg, and I guess there's no articulation at all on this leg. I guess that's the same with the Z-Gok as well. So that pops on. I'm assuming that's the front. Yes it is, according to the photograph. Alright. Well, I guess I can just pop this on now. So this is the left. Ooh, that joint, you gotta make sure you put it in straight on. Here we go. Alright. And then I see shapes here, so maybe that's some of this little gray stuff. Yeah, I think these square ones go in here, and it goes like this. That's such a short peg though, I'm gonna recommend you glue that in place, otherwise it's gonna fall out when you play with this thing. And it's so small you'll never find it again. Alright, now where are the other two? So these go in the back. I don't know which way. Well, they do have a peg shape. Wait a second. That is not for the back. These things go in the back. What is this? So this goes here. Alright. Maybe these go in here. Yeah, they're like thrusters. Actually, I want the pretty side to be up. They don't articulate, obviously, but I guess on like a more realistic model kit they would. Alright. And then the only thing left are some hands in that weapon. So let's pop this weapon in this thing. It actually fits pretty well. And it's a really cool weapon because look, it's clear, and yet they painted it also, so it's like a two-tone. And yeah, this is actually soft as well. It looks like rigid plastic, but it is soft. It's really impressive, actually. Alright, let's get the stand up here. And let's get this... Well, let's go through the articulation. Got nice details on the feet here. So as you saw, you know, the legs is only one point, that one ball joint area, but the armor doesn't collide much, so you can get pretty far back, pretty far, well no, the forward not so much, the knee runs in. The elbow, the shoulder here, torso joint is great, because look how high up that side is, and look how low this side is, right? And then you should be able to get a little bit of a butterfly effect because it's on a ball joint. Right, and then the elbows, not much bend in the elbows. Backwards it's actually colliding, so it's just straight. And then front, maybe 45 degrees. The wrists there, they can spin. The head doesn't really collide with anything if the shoulders are down. Actually, you know, one thing I'm missing still are these little gray pieces. Where do these go? There's got to be 2 tiny grooves. But where? Where? On the legs? I don't see it. Oh, these not there. That's really strange. They must belong somewhere, because why else would they have them? They're actually, you know, gray like these. I don't think it's an alternate piece. Oh, right there. There's a tiny little... Oh, hold on here. I think I have to take the torso apart. Man, this is a really small part. It's almost like you want to use tweezers. Yeah, I'm going to have to go to tweezer action now. Oh, there's a chamfer on this side, so there's a left and right. You want to have the chamfer on the outside. Yeah, so that's where that goes. You know, I'm going to pause. I'm going to crazy glue this all together because I'm going to lose parts. Through the magic of pausing the camera, you don't have to watch me clip off all the parts. I went ahead and did all that. All you have to do now is watch me put it together. So we got the shoulder thing already set. Alright, I guess this is the front end here. And it turns out that this red one I did is called a Darilbalde, from Witch from Mercury. This one also is from Witch from Mercury. It's like Michealis, or Michealis? I'm not sure. Obviously, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correct. Where's the back torso? I think it's just this. Well, I don't know which side is up, so I'm going to leave that alone for now. I do know this is the crotch piece. Alright. Just looking at the photograph, I guess this is the front here. Right. This goes on one arm. Alright, save that for later. This head here has to have a horn, which is this guy, or an antennae. Alright. And the leg here. Oh, there's actually a peg thing in the leg, so well, I'm going to assume that's that leg there. I see. Nope, these go into the arms. Never mind. Or does this go into the arm? Nope, these do go into the legs. So there's a shape here. I guess it's supposed to go like this. Unless it's supposed to be on the other side. I don't know. No, I guess that's okay. On the Darilbalde, I already crazy glued most of the parts together so they don't fall off, get lost, but I will do that after this video for these last 2 guys. Alright, so there we go. Interesting. Now this must be a shoulder. Is it labeled R and left? No, because I guess they're completely symmetric. So, looks like I gotta get the elbow joint in there. Come on. Man, that is tough. I'm like tempted to use pliers, but I know that just gouge up the plastic, and you just gotta wiggle it around a little bit, you know? So then this must be the forearm? Oh, but they're different because this thing has a crazy weapon for an arm. Alright, so this goes into here. It's got a shape to it. There we go. And so I'm going to make this the right arm. You know what? Maybe not. I'll make it the left arm because I put the joint in. I'll put the joint, the visible side, the bad side of the joint towards this purple thing here. So here's a test here. Maybe, so I was trying to push both pegs in at the same time. If they're generally straight, maybe it can still happen. I think that worked. Yeah, alright. But the other side, no choice now. I think this is for a shield, yeah, that thing. So, oh, this does say right. So I messed up already. Does it matter? I don't think it matters. Right, they're totally mirrored, right? They're identical pieces. Yeah, so don't worry about the left and right so much. It doesn't matter. I want the peg on the outside because the shield has to go into that. And come on. Wiggle that peg on. Ah, man, that is really tough. Alright, so the shield here goes on here. Glove it down like that. This is where it came off the molding sprue, so it's a little bit messy. Let's try the diamond file again. Not diamond file, I don't know why I keep saying that. The nano file. Clearly taking off material. I guess that helped out. Yeah, it's better than it was. According to the image though, this is supposed to be in this orientation. I think maybe that's a gun or something. Shoulder thing went way up there. Yeah, that's crazy. Look how high the shoulder can go. Granted, it's going to collide with the head. Now looking at the head of this guy, it's quite weird. It's kind of like a medieval knight, but it's got a clear lens. Unfortunately, I don't know, it looks a little weird. It's like I'd rather not have purple behind there and have like gold or something. That was pretty easy. Oh, something goes here. This chest piece. Interesting. Now that is kind of loose. Well, actually, now they pushed it in. I don't think that's going to fall out. Alright. The only last bits of these two things. So this has a shape to it. It might help figure this out. So that goes there. And being thrusters, or what I imagine are supposed to be thrusters, I think it's supposed to go in this direction then. Alright, so yeah, let's see, articulation wise, oh, look at that, I didn't even do that, I didn't even put that together before. Alright, so hold on, I'm going to come back with some after crazy gluing. You know, since I never actually did the articulation for that, let's just finish putting these together and then do the articulation. So this, we got this chest piece here. Let's go like this. Alright, then the piece is a logical one to do next. Alright, so the orange is in front, according to the photograph. And then the legs, where are you? This guy seems significantly smaller than the other ones. We'll have to see at the end. Alright, boy, I'm just looking at the photos. This is the head, obviously. Look at the details of this thing. Nice translucent red eyes, and also up here you have that whatever like digitization in the Witch from Mercury. That's really cool behind that smoked plastic. So that's neat. But I'll save the head for last. Alright, so this says left arm or left shoulder, I'm imagining. But then there's a bunch of stuff that goes into this. There's a slot there. What, maybe this? Nope, not that. I see. Maybe this piece? Yeah, possibly. Does this have a marking on it? So that's the wrong side, but I think maybe this one. Now what's weird is, why is that a separate piece? I guess they couldn't mold it, but it would have been nice if this is a different color, if they're going to go through the trouble of making a different piece, but that's also very loose, so I'm going to have to glue that in place later. Let's see what comes next, maybe. Oh, I don't even understand how this is going to peg into the anything here, so that's what's throwing me off. Maybe it's this. Man, this is a mystery. This is clearly the back piece. Oh, I see. So now we have pegs here. Why would that be like that? Maybe that is. It's really dark, so it's really hard to see what's going on. Oh, I see. That is supposed to be like that. But then there's a side pod here, which has got to be one of these. I don't know. That one doesn't seem to rest well. Though I can't say that's any... Well, no, I guess that is it. Alright, so this must be like a forearm. And this... Well, that's interesting. I think it might just have an exposed elbow. Alright, so if I pop this in here, like that. So it goes like that, and then this must be a forearm. Which side of the front and the back? I assume that's the back of the forearm. make sure that's in on the way. I don't know. Pop that on here. Then this goes on that peg there. So it's supposed to be like that. That's pretty wacky, right? What is this orange piece? That goes onto the side here, okay. It's difficult to tell whether if this is the correct side or not. I don't know. No, that can't be right. It's got to be this first one. All right. Alright, I went and crazy glued everything I wanted to already, so let's get this thing finished. This good old Pharact. Alright, that goes on there. Then I guess we'll have the hand on the right side. This was warped by putting hot water already. And it's an okay gun. It looks weird to have this, but it actually is on the realistic model kits, and probably in the cartoon as well, but I haven't paid attention. It's weird, I watched all the episodes of Witch for Mercury, but I don't really remember this robot too much, or even the Michealis. The Darilbalde I definitely remember, but these two, I don't know, they're just not very unique to me. Alright, so this is the right side. So pop the head on. Okay. One thing that concerns is the peg for this thing is so short. I feel it's going to fall off easily. I kind of wish this piece was much thicker and they had a bigger peg. Or really, the peg should be longer and less material here, so this could be thicker. Yeah, well, anyways, let's pop in the open hand here. It's kind of weird that, well, I guess there's just no fists that are actually closed. The only fists are weapon holding fists. That fell off pretty easily, actually, right there. It did snap. So, alright, let's do reverse articulation order. This guy here, well, might as well do. So you see this, right? But I am concerned that that's going to fall off the peg very easily because it's just not long, right? You can come pretty far down, and so maybe these are thrusters or something. These side things, verniers or something. That's definitely looking like a thruster. No color though. Then the legs, very, very wide clearance to the back. So a lot of articulation going backwards at least. Even the front as well, it can kick its shoulders. Alright. You're only going to get a little bit of in and out before it falls off the ball peg. And then sadly, you saw this thing come loose already. So let me deal with this. Oh, I wonder if this has anything to do with it. You see, I actually saw the hand peg in there. But this is cut pretty short, so it's almost like you want to glue in this peg. Maybe that's what you should do. As long as you don't glue the actual hinge. But I don't think this piece is designed to actually accommodate this little this lip on the. See that little lip there? I don't think this piece is meant to actually grab that. So that's why it's falling off very easily. Now it came out of there. Yeah, same thing. I don't know if that thing is. But this you have, if you want to spin, you should try to leave it alone. I was wondering if maybe the hand pushed it out. Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, it's just doesn't want to fit very well. So looking at this shoulder, yeah, I mean you can get it really up in there. But yeah, this whole thing is very questionable. This peg here for this shoulder thing. And then, boy, this one came off also very easily. See how you can see the hand peg in there? It's not good. Alright, well, let's get that thing on the fight stand here. And it will stand on its own, as you can see. And actually, let me lower the camera and let's just take a look at the height of these guys. Yeah, the head is very low on this guy. Yeah, it might be, see, this head is much higher. And then the Darilbalde might even be higher than those. At least, yeah. Nah, maybe these two are pretty much the same. But this Pharact, it has a very short torso. So the Zegok, well, it's from a different line, but they're still all Senshi Fs. Right, Zegok doesn't really have a head though, so. This is crazy. This video is already 53 minutes long, and I paused and did a lot of stuff off camera. Alright, articulation wise, this is much better. I feel like, you know, this arm doesn't want to come loose, first of all. I think it's designed to actually grab that ring on the joint. And then, yeah, side to side on the head there. The legs. It's going to collide with the skirt in the back. The front's not so bad. Alright, and then this little cannon arm thing is kind of neat. Very interesting. Alright, the Darilbalde is very elaborate. I strained out the weapon as well in hot water. I crazy glued this thing in place, so it's just coming off all the time. And so again, I don't think the arm is going to fall apart around. It seems better than the Pharact. But the legs are definitely running in with the big skirt in the back, so you can't kick back so far. But I think it's alright. You'll see this thing does want to run into these thruster things here as well. Right there, skull is colliding. Alright. So being such short figures, I don't think you can really expect them to have the greatest articulation. Here you can see I'm snapping the bases together. Alright, pop Mr. Seacock back on. go. Oh, now look at this. This is an issue. Well, I guess if you can't put them in the middle pegs and right next to each other, they're just too wide of a figure. But let's see if I move this to the very end. I don't know if the spacing is identical or not to that. It is not. These far ends are just for the mating the plates together. Just have to go the second set. Alright, so now that's there. Can I get Darilbalde? Yes, now I can get Darilbalde here. But I don't know what's going to happen here. If this guy's going to fit well there. I guess if it was at an angle. Yeah, I don't know. Pharact guy can run off here. So they're colliding. What's unfortunate is there aren't more holes. If I suppose here's a cure though. Hold on a second. Maybe I can do this. So that's, oh no, these aren't. They should have a universal spacing of holes. I can't move the stand here, you see? The peg holes are wrong. If this was a perfectly even grid of holes, like the whole thing should just be a grid of holes, then I should be able to put it anywhere I want to, and then I can actually bank all these together without them colliding. So it's just another case of poor design, really. I mean, it wouldn't cost any, it would actually save them money if they had holes everywhere on this thing, because it'd be less plastic to mold. But they just weren't thinking this through, really. They just they want you to have one stand with one figure, and yet banking them together, you can't really put them all next to each other because the figures are too wide, right? It's just so, it's silly. It's really silly. I guess if you move this guy forward, maybe, right? And maybe you could stagger this guy behind. Then they're overlapping, and then I guess that works, and kind of works. But you know, I would kind of instinctively want to have them all in the same line, so that I can compare their sizes better. All right, so here are the images of the more realistic looking versions. So the Char Zegok is the red one, Darilbalde, Michealis, and then the Pharact. These are all from Wish for Mercury. Alright, well that was a long video. Anyways, I think it's a great line. It's very similar, but not quite identical to the Senshi Dash I reviewed. Now the Senshi Dash, they're also just as big. They seem to be around the same scale. I also have this Zaku. So the stand is clearly different, and it's actually probably a better stand because it's just one peg, and so you move the whole figure around instead of this whole weird system. But the overall height of these guys is pretty much the same. What makes this different though is the shoulder joint here is very much like the elbow joints of these we reviewed today. This actually has similar, if not identical, elbow joints, but it also has a bigger version for the shoulders. And then this leg is all one piece, very similar. The crotch going into the torso, very similar. So it's almost the same, but these Senshi dashes, I don't know if this might have been a special set, but look at all the printing all over this thing. You know, it is plastered with tampo printing, which is great. And this was like a two-piece set, by the way. You know, not as much printing on this one, but still, you got, at least the shields have printing on them. So there's definitely more work and effort going into this particular Senshi Dash set. But what I like about today's topic is you can't see the shoulder joints. You know, they're just not visible at all. Whereas on this, you have to see the shoulder joint. It's just like the arm is like floating off in space. So I prefer these for sure. The only issue was, I guess, this one where the forearms were falling apart. Alright. And the last thing I compared to is Converge. So you'll see the Converge is definitely a bigger deformed toy. It's not as deformed. You know, this is definitely super deformed, very squat. This is still deformed, but not as much. This, you know, the molding detail is almost the same quality. But this has far more articulation because Converge figures, the legs almost never move. The only movement you have is the arms and the head sometimes. Sometimes they design the head so it can't spin at all. So, yeah, I think I actually prefer these little guys more because they're more compact and you can actually pose them because their legs move. This is only like a half pose with the arms moving. Right? Alright guys, well, it's a pretty cool set of toy Gashapon things. It's amazing that there's this small, but you can pose them. They're definitely very fidgety though, and you're gonna definitely want to glue a lot of these pieces together because the you know, the joints are just so short that there's not much material grabbing the other piece. But otherwise, I think they're great. Yeah, maybe a little paint detail, and they'd look fantastic. But I'll get around to that another day. So thanks for watching. I'll probably get some more if I can get them at a decent price. Alright, see you guys. Bye.